The Kievan Rus was a federation of Slavic tribes and states centered around the city of Kiev that existed from the 9th to the 13th centuries. It is considered a precursor to modern-day Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus, and its history is rich and complex. Below is a comprehensive overview of its rise, development, and eventual decline. Early beginnings, 9th century. The formation of Kievan Rus, circa 862 AD. The Kievan Rus is traditionally considered to have been founded by the Varangians, Scandinavian Vikings, who were invited to rule over the Slavic tribes in what is now modern-day Ukraine and parts of Russia and Belarus. According to the Primary Chronicle, a historical document, the Slavic tribes asked the Varangian prince Rurik to rule them in 862. Rurik's dynasty would rule for centuries. Rurik's successors and the rise of Kiev. After Rurik's death, his successor, Oleg of Novgorod, expanded the Varangian influence and established the Kievan Rus with the city of Kiev as its central hub around 880 AD. Under Oleg's rule, the Kievan Rus began its territorial expansion, uniting various Slavic tribes under a single political entity. Golden Age, 10th to 11th centuries. Vladimir the Great, 980 to 1015. The most significant ruler of the Kievan Rus was Vladimir I, also known as Vladimir the Great. Vladimir is famous for his adoption of Christianity as the state religion in 988 AD, converting from paganism. This conversion laid the foundation for the Christianization of the region and its alignment with the Byzantine Empire, bringing significant cultural and religious ties to Eastern Orthodoxy. Expansion and diplomacy. During Vladimir's reign, the Kievan Rus reached its territorial peak, stretching from the Baltic Sea in the north to the Black Sea in the south. He established diplomatic ties with various states, including the Byzantine Empire, and married Anna of Constantinople, the sister of the Byzantine Emperor, as part of the diplomatic efforts. Yaroslav the Wise, 1019 to 1054. Vladimir's son, Yaroslav the Wise, further consolidated and expanded the Kievan Rus. His reign saw the codification of law, the Russkaya Pravda, the establishment of many churches, and the continued spread of Christianity. Yaroslav was also a major patron of learning and culture. His diplomatic skills led to several successful alliances with European monarchies, including his daughters marrying into prominent royal families across Europe. Decline and fragmentation, 12th century. Internal struggles. After Yaroslav's death, the Kievan Rus faced internal struggles, primarily over the division of the territory among his sons. The lack of a unified central authority led to tensions and conflicts between the various princes of the Rus cities, such as Kiev, Novgorod, and Chernigov. The decentralized nature of the state began to weaken its overall cohesion. Economic and political decline. The Kievan Rus also faced economic challenges, as trade routes that had once been prosperous began to shift. The rise of the Kuman and Pecheneg nomads in the south and the fragmentation of political power within the Rus contributed to the weakening of the state. Mongol invasion, 1237 to 1240. The final blow to the Kievan Rus came from the Mongol invasions in the 13th century. Led by Bata Khan, the Mongols destroyed Kiev in 1240, marking the end of Kievan Rus as a major political entity. The Mongol Empire's subsequent control over the region led to the period of the Mongol yoke, where the Kievan Rus lands were divided into smaller principalities and forced to pay tribute to the Mongols. Legacy of the Kievan Rus. Despite its fall, the Kievan Rus left a lasting legacy. Cultural and religious influence. Christianity became deeply embedded in the culture of the region, and the Eastern Orthodox Church played a central role in the spiritual and cultural life of the successor states. The Kievan Rus also contributed to the development of the Cyrillic alphabet and the spread of Byzantine art, architecture, and law. Political legacy. After the fall of Kiev, the lands of the Kievan Rus splintered into various principalities. The Grand Duchy of Moscow, later the Tsardom of Russia, eventually emerged as the most powerful state among these successors, laying the foundation for modern Russia. Key figures of Kievan Rus. Rurik, founder of the Rurikid dynasty, established the Varangian rule in the Rus lands. Oleg of Novgorod expanded the Kievan Rus and established Kiev as its center. Vladimir the Great, the ruler who Christianized the Kievan Rus and expanded its territories. Yaroslav the Wise, known for legal reforms, cultural development, and strengthening of the state. Batu Khan, the Mongol leader who destroyed Kiev and ended the Kievan Rus. Conclusion. The Kievan Rus was a crucial early medieval state that laid the foundations for the cultural and political development of Eastern Europe. Though it was ultimately undone by internal division and external invasions, its legacy is evident in the histories of Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. Its role in the spread of Christianity, legal traditions, and the Eastern Orthodox culture continues to influence these regions today.